Within the next few minutes, you're about to uncover a psychological idea so controversial that it changed the way early thinkers understood human desire. This isn't a surface explanation. This is the hidden, uncomfortable truth buried in the early days of modern psychology. These ideas were debated, censored, and in some cases rejected because they challenged the beliefs of their time. But by understanding them, you begin to see why so many people feel confused about attraction today, and why so many expectations simply don't match reality. So let's begin with a story from the late 1800s, when a young Sigmund Freud met a patient whose behavior did not fit society's expectations. Her name was Anna, a well-educated Viennese woman who struggled with stress, emotional conflicts, and overwhelming inner tension. Anna experienced episodes no doctor could explain. Freud believed that beneath her calm public appearance was a storm of unprocessed emotions, fears, pressures, frustrations, created by strict social expectations of how a proper woman should behave. His private notes described her as someone who carried deep internal conflict, not because she was immoral or dangerous, but because society demanded perfection while denying people the space to explore their real feelings. Freud later wrote, "Civilization creates masks. Beneath them lies the truth of human nature." He believed that people often hide their real emotions even from themselves because society punishes anything that doesn't fit the norm. Another well-known case was Dora, a young woman whose emotional reactions confused her entire family. She carried resentment, pressure, and complicated feelings she could not express openly. Freud believed her struggles came from years of silence and internal conflict. Dora's situation revealed something important. When emotions are ignored or suppressed, they often return as stress, irritation, or unpredictable reactions. Freud argued that understanding one's own emotions, rather than denying them, is key to psychological health. This idea shaped modern psychology. Attraction and desire are influenced not just by logic but by tension, mystery, and emotional contrast. Humans are drawn to things that challenge them, surprise them, or make them feel something they can't fully explain. Many psychologists argue that people are complex emotional beings whose desires don't always match their stated preferences. Attraction is influenced by personality dynamics, confidence, authenticity, and emotional presence, not just politeness or predictability. Some of Freud's early theories, like envy of agency, were less about biology and more about social power. He believed that people often desire confidence, autonomy, and direction because these qualities represent stability in a chaotic world. Not because people want control or dominance, but because they gravitate toward characters who move with purpose and certainty. Later researchers like Alfred Kinsey and others studied emotional reactions, social behavior, and human preferences. These insights reveal something crucial. Attraction is not simply about logic or fairness. It's about emotional contrast, authenticity, and the feeling of being connected to someone who stands firmly in their identity. Fast forward to today. Many men feel confused about dating because the rules have changed. Society encourages kindness and equality, which matter, but ignores the psychological need for confidence, direction, and emotional stability. Men who suppress their natural strengths like assertiveness, leadership, and purpose often feel overlooked, not because they aren't good people, but because they've been taught to ignore qualities that historically created polarity and attraction. Modern data shows a growing crisis. Many young men feel isolated, withdrawn, and unsure of how to act. Dating apps concentrate attention on a small percentage of people, leaving many feeling invisible. Studies show that emotional presence, confidence, ambition, and stability are consistently rated as the most attractive traits. People want partners who provide safety, direction, and reliability, not passivity or over-accommodation. Researchers like David Buss found that humans across cultures value partners who are focused, driven, and self-assured. Not aggressive, not controlling, simply grounded. People naturally respond to those who live with purpose. This pattern appears everywhere, from literature to movies to real-world relationships. Predictability reduces excitement. Purpose creates curiosity. Certainty invites trust. When someone abandons their goals to revolve around another person, attraction fades, not because the partner is ungrateful, but because humans value individuals who stand strong in their sense of identity. Psychology calls this frame. Your internal state shapes how others respond. When you lead your life with intention, people feel it. When you abandon yourself, people sense that too. Healthy relationships form when two complete individuals come together, not when one person collapses into the other. Strength invites respect. Respect invites connection. Modern psychologists emphasize emotional polarity, the natural dynamic created when two people bring different strengths into a relationship. Not dominance, not submission, balance. This polarity is created through clarity, confidence, and presence. People are drawn to those who know who they are, where they're going, and what they stand for. Effective communication, emotional maturity, and healthy boundaries form the foundation of attraction. Not games, not manipulation. Authenticity. When you stay calm during conflict, maintain your purpose, and continue living your life with direction, you create psychological value. This is the kind of stability people are drawn toward. Your greatest power is not in trying to control others, it's in mastering yourself. When you operate from strength, people naturally gravitate toward you. The real secret Freud discovered wasn't about dominance or control. It was about the human need for contrast, confidence, and emotional grounding. When you embody these qualities, attraction happens naturally. So if you've ever felt overlooked or misunderstood, remember this. You were never powerless. You were simply taught to hide the qualities that make you magnetic. Your purpose, your presence, and your identity. Reclaim them and everything changes. Not through force, but through clarity. Not through control, but through confidence. Not through fear, but through self-mastery. Modern life pressures people to perform constantly, at work, online, and in relationships. This performance creates emotional exhaustion, leading many to feel disconnected from their own identity. Psychology shows that attraction fades when authenticity disappears. Humans are wired to respond to realness, not perfection, not flawless behavior, not forced politeness. People connect most deeply with those who live in alignment with their values, regardless of external approval. This is why confidence resonates. Confidence isn't loudness or ego. It's the calm certainty that comes from knowing who you are. It's emotional steadiness, the kind that brings comfort during uncertainty. In relationships, this steadiness matters. When one person becomes overwhelmed by insecurity or fear of losing someone, they often overcorrect, acting overly eager, overly available, or overly apologetic. This unintentionally weakens attraction. Psychologists call this self-abandonment, the moment you ignore your own needs to gain approval from someone else. While well-intentioned, it sends a signal of instability that people subconsciously pull away from. Healthy relationships thrive not on chasing or proving, but on mutual respect. Respect forms when both individuals maintain their own identity, direction, and emotional independence. When you stop trying to win someone and instead focus on becoming grounded within yourself, something shifts. People notice your stability, they feel your presence, they respond to your self-assured energy. This is why purpose matters. When your life revolves around a mission, a goal, or a passion, you radiate momentum. People naturally gravitate towards someone who is moving forward, not someone standing still. Early psychologists observed this pattern repeatedly. Individuals with strong internal direction tended to attract deeper admiration, trust, and connection. Not because they were superior, but because they were anchored. Anchored people don't panic when others disagree with them. They don't crumble when someone pulls away. Their sense of identity isn't dependent on external validation. This emotional security creates emotional gravity. And emotional gravity is one of the strongest forms of attraction. Not physical looks, not wealth, but the feeling of being around someone who is centered, calm, and unwavering in who they are. Many modern dating frustrations come from mismatched expectations. People want instant validation, constant reassurance, and guaranteed outcomes. But real connection develops through time, patience, and consistent emotional grounding. When someone senses that you value yourself, they learn to value you too. When they see that you respect your time, your goals, and your boundaries, they naturally respond with respect of their own. This is not about being distant or unapproachable. It's about being balanced, caring without losing yourself, giving without collapsing, connecting without abandoning your own identity. The core of modern attraction is simple. People want someone who is emotionally reliable, mentally stable, and internally strong. These aren't traits of dominance, they're traits of maturity. And maturity creates the foundation for long-lasting connection. When you cultivate internal strength, you don't have to chase validation. The right people recognize your value without being convinced. Emotional strength also helps you navigate uncertainty. Instead of reacting impulsively to fear or insecurity, you respond with clarity. This makes communication smoother and prevents unnecessary conflict in relationships. People feel safe around someone who remains steady during emotional storms. Safety is one of the most powerful forms of attraction because it signals reliability, trustworthiness, and emotional maturity. Human behavior research shows that individuals naturally move toward people who regulate their emotions well. Calm energy is magnetic. It reduces tension and creates a sense of emotional comfort. This is why boundaries are essential. Boundaries are not barriers, they're guides for how you expect to be treated. They protect your emotional space and help maintain healthy balance between connection and independence. When you set clear boundaries, you communicate self-respect. This encourages others to treat you with the same respect. Without boundaries, relationships often become unstable or one-sided. Healthy relationships thrive when both people understand their own limits. Boundaries prevent resentment, create structure, and ensure that neither person sacrifices too much of themselves to maintain the connection. Many people fear setting boundaries because they don't want to lose someone, but the truth is, real connections strengthen when boundaries are clear. They allow honesty, accountability, and mutual understanding to grow. When you express what you need calmly and confidently, people listen. Even if they don't fully agree, they recognize the sincerity in your communication. That authenticity builds respect. In contrast, when someone constantly hides their true feelings to avoid conflict, resentment grows quietly underneath. Over time, that hidden frustration becomes emotional distance. Psychologists warn that suppressed emotions often surface later, usually at the wrong time and in the wrong way. Honest expression delivered respectfully prevents long-term emotional damage. Communication becomes healthier when you speak from a grounded place. Instead of reacting from fear or insecurity, you communicate from clarity. This reduces misunderstandings and builds trust. Trust forms slowly, shaped by consistency over time. Actions matter more than promises. Reliability deepens emotional connection and creates a stable foundation for long-term commitment. When two people trust each other, vulnerability feels safe. Sharing fears, dreams, and insecurities becomes natural instead of risky. This emotional openness strengthens the bond between them. But openness only thrives when both people feel emotionally secure. Without security, vulnerability feels dangerous. That's why building internal strength is essential before expecting deep connection from others. The more grounded you become within yourself, the more naturally you invite meaningful relationships. Attraction becomes effortless because it is rooted in emotional stability rather than performance. Internal strength allows you to approach relationships without fear of losing yourself. Instead of clinging or overinvesting too early, you allow things to unfold naturally. This reduces pressure and creates a healthier emotional rhythm. When connection develops slowly, it becomes more stable. People feel more comfortable when they aren't being rushed, chased, or overwhelmed with intensity. Steady growth builds trust and long-term attraction. Many modern relationships fail because people expect instant emotional closeness. But genuine intimacy requires time. It forms through shared experiences, consistent actions, and mutual respect, not through urgency. When two people take time to understand each other's values, communication style, and emotional needs, the relationship gains depth. It becomes more than desire, it becomes partnership. Partnership is built on emotional reciprocity. Both individuals give and receive support. They strengthen each other's growth instead of competing for control or validation. This reciprocity creates emotional balance. Each person feels seen, heard, and understood. Neither one carries the entire emotional weight of the relationship. This balance allows the connection to thrive. In contrast, unbalanced relationships wear people down. When one person constantly gives while the other takes, resentment builds. Over time, this imbalance erodes trust and weakens emotional connection. Healthy relationships don't demand perfection, they require effort. Effort in communication, effort in understanding, and effort in showing up consistently. This steady investment creates emotional stability. Stability does not mean boredom. It means predictability in the best way. The kind that makes both people feel secure enough to be themselves without fear of judgment or abandonment. When people feel safe to be authentic, they stop performing and start connecting. This authenticity strengthens emotional intimacy and creates a deeper sense of closeness. Closeness grows through small moments, honest conversations, shared laughter, mutual support during challenges. These moments form the emotional glue that keeps relationships strong. Over time, these small moments create memories, and memories create meaning. Meaningful relationships are not built on dramatic intensity, they're built on steady connection. Modern society often glorifies intensity, mistaking it for passion. But psychology shows that true passion is sustained by emotional stability, not chaos. Stability allows love to last. When people learn to regulate their emotions and communicate honestly, they build relationships that are resilient. These relationships endure stress, conflict, and change without falling apart. Resilience is the heart of long-term connection. It is the ability to grow together, adapt to challenges, and maintain respect even during difficult moments. This is what makes a relationship truly strong. Resilient relationships are not free from conflict. Instead, they manage conflict with maturity. Both individuals listen, reflect, and work toward understanding rather than trying to win the argument. Conflict becomes destructive only when pride takes over. When people stop trying to understand each other and start trying to dominate, the relationship loses its sense of partnership. Healthy communication focuses on clarity, not blame. It aims to resolve issues, not create new ones. This approach strengthens trust and shows emotional responsibility. Emotional responsibility means acknowledging your feelings without attacking the other person. It means expressing frustration calmly and expressing needs clearly. This creates space for honest dialogue. When both people practice this, misunderstandings decrease. Respect grows. The relationship becomes a place where both individuals feel safe to express themselves without fear of being dismissed. Safety does not mean avoiding difficult conversations. It means having them with care, patience, and empathy. This emotional maturity deepens the bond and prevents long-term resentment. Empathy is one of the strongest predictors of relationship success. It allows you to understand another person's perspective without losing your own. It builds emotional connection and softens conflict. People feel valued when they are understood. This sense of being emotionally seen strengthens intimacy and creates lasting closeness. It makes the relationship feel purposeful. Purpose within a relationship is essential. It gives the connection direction. Both people know they are building something meaningful together, not just drifting or reacting to temporary emotions. This sense of shared direction encourages long-term growth. Couples who grow together stay together because they evolve as a team, rather than as two separate individuals drifting apart. Growth requires both people to stay emotionally open. When someone shuts down emotionally, walls begin to form. These walls create distance that becomes harder to break over time. Psychologists warn that emotional withdrawal is often more damaging than arguments. Silence builds emotional gaps that resentment slowly fills. Communication keeps the relationship alive. Healthy couples communicate even when it's uncomfortable. They check in with each other, share concerns, and express appreciation. These small habits keep love active and present. Appreciation in particular strengthens emotional bonds. People thrive when their efforts are noticed and valued. Regular gratitude enhances closeness and creates positive emotional patterns. Positive patterns are the foundation of long-lasting connection. When two people consistently treat each other with care, respect, and kindness, the relationship becomes naturally fulfilling and deeply secure.